Sorry,
Good
guys.
Afternoon.
Hey, Greg. How's it going? Apparently, we're on the wrong brand, but I'm going to go ahead and switch it right now because we're cool like that. So we're here at Central Mafia. We got Sam in the background. He's helping us out in the admin. So we got it. So my name's Adam Bielanski. I am your host today, and I'm awesome and enjoying my time here in Colorado. And I have mi amor, Sean Lardo. We're loving our baseball teams. Pittsburgh, doing awesome. Atlanta still hasn't lost the series yet. So we'll see.
Way to one up me. Anyway, so what we're here for, let's get to what we're here for. This is Central Mafia's PitchIT series. And I'll give it to you back to you, Sam. Adam, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is Central Mafia's PitchIT series, and we get to dive deep with PitchIT contestants. But before the contestants are announced, it's probably today, tomorrow, this week, I believe. Sean, can you give us a little background on what PitchIT is?
So PitchIT is a Shark Tank-like competition for startup vendors that are in the space selling to or through the MSPs. That's one of the primary mission is that obviously for what we're looking for. And then also they must have the ability to be able to integrate within ConnectWise and work within the ecosystem community. The goal for all of them, as I mentioned, it's a Shark Tank competition to begin with, is that they're all competing for prize money and to be one of the 3 finalists in November at IT Nation Connect Global. We raised the stakes this year. There will be more money, which is extremely exciting. And well, not money, but just more cash prize rewards, which has really sparked up a little bit. And our guests today will probably be a little bit upset because they didn't get to take as much as we are. So that's why I'm not talking about the amount yet. But yeah, it'll be a good time. Although all during the course of this, there is a 16-week incubator program that they go through with educational workshops each week that vary from social media to sales, marketing, P mergers, how to talk about your product roadmap development, whatever it is. There's a bunch. Public speaking. There's a lot of different courses on all these, and they're all from industry experts. Actually, the people that are giving these classes are practitioners in the space doing exactly what this is. So it's very exciting, and it becomes far more exciting at the end when it's November and they're doing it on stage.
It is pretty awesome. So I'm sure everybody just want to see Sean and I. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on Zach because he is back.
Well, before you Tim, welcome. Yep, go back in the room. You had said something too, and Zach can be here too. It doesn't matter. Yes, this week we will be announcing this year's cohort competition. There'll be a press release going out on the next day here or so, and it will be exactly telling you all who made it. We look to try to accept between 22 and 26 vendors a year. We try to make sure the competition is really good. We have a hard time selecting even at times, and I don't even know what's going on with Quasimodo. Oh my God.
Oh, wow. There's no more intro we need. Zach, welcome from Senteon.
We have the biggest PitchIT fan joining us right now. And as soon as you said the new cohort was being announced, did you see that reaction from Bruno? That was incredible.
So what's crazy is you're a green screen, you're wearing a green outfit, so I'm wondering if you're trying to do the headless things just on the screen.
I tried to just have the cat's head, but something about the green screen didn't work out. But Bruno's excited, I'm excited to be here, and holy crap, new prize money, more prize money. This is incredible, guys. Glad to hear the success and can't wait to share how it's been since.
Yeah. So just let's zoom back out. Let's take a picture of Senteon. Tell us a little bit about Senteon.
Yeah, so Senteon is a hardening platform. Effectively, we noticed in the market that there's plenty of platforms to tell you what's wrong, prioritize what needs to be done, but not a lot of platforms that actually performed the fix. It always involved manual work. So what we ultimately built is an automation platform, not only to tell you what's wrong with your assets at the configuration level, but also to fix it, map it to compliance, and automate a whole bunch more than that.
Nailed it down.
Wow, you really did well with that. Amazing.
I think my opening line on PitchIT was Windows is made for your grandma and the Fortune 100. Don't let your clients use your grandma's box.
That was pretty good. Pretty good.
You do pitch it once, and it honestly just lives with you for years. You can never just stop saying your pitch, pretending you're back in stage. It's just exhilarating.
It is.
Right? It is exhilarating. And I think it's important people know even why you're even on this live stream with us today. You came in to pitch it 2 years ago, the competition, and you didn't even think you were even going to make it into the program. You didn't even be accepted into the competition. And you did, and you were accepted. And not only were you accepted, you also ended up winning the whole damn thing.
Yep. It was definitely, any vendor, especially early stage looking to get into the MSP space, whether you're starting here or you're migrating here, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, right? And I didn't have necessarily all the champions I do in my life. I don't have an MSP background myself. And many times the vendors you're competing against do. I mean, we'll probably talk about last year's winner. They also had an MSP while competing, right? So it's easy to kind of maybe feel like an outsider when you're a vendor coming into the space. So applying for things like this, getting to know the community more, really makes it a lot more exciting. Definitely have a little bit more confidence now that I spoke on stage. So, kudos to PitchIT.
Amen to that.
Awesome. Well, what we're going to do is we actually have another special guest here. So, Zach, I'm going to put you in the green room, and we'll bring on Bobby.
What's up, guys?
Bobby. Hey, how's it going? Been a while.
Yeah, good to see you. It's going
good
great.
to see you. Awesome.
Great.
Sean, I always love your haircut. I'm an Astros fan, by the way, so not good in baseball, but we're scoring some runs at least.
Bobby, I am curious. Are you in a Sky Club or United Club, sitting in a little phone booth?
I'm about to take off to outer space. No, I am in our Houston office. You can see a little tour. Got our space over here.
Oh, wow. Office tour. Look at that.
Zach brings his cat. You take us for a tour.
That's pretty awesome. Look at that. See, that's what happens when you go through PitchIT and you get some serious funding.
That's right.
Yeah, PitchIT paid for that booth. That was
yeah, exactly right. So, Bobby, tell us a little bit about Thread. What do you guys do?
Yeah, we are an AI service desk. We help MSPs automate the work that they don't like doing, things like dispatch and level 1 tickets, so that they can help their customers solve real problems. Most of that gets into AI consulting. Like, how does an MSP become this trusted advisor who's truly a managed intelligence provider? We automate all the boring stuff that is the day-to-day of an MSP today, so they can go do the cooler things.
Awesome. And you were involved in PitchIT, I think 2 years ago, maybe 3?
3. Yeah, Zach won 2 years ago. I got to hang out with him a little bit. I was their team's mentor. Is that what I think that's what it's called?
Head coach.
It feels weird
head
to say that.
Coach. You were the head coach.
Head coach.
And so yeah, we've kept it going. It was awesome to get to work with Zach, and for Thread, man, us being a part of PitchIT was fundamental. So many things, like Zach said, connections in the industry, coaching across the board, integration help with ConnectWise. Huge fan of PitchIT.
Awesome. Well, go ahead, Sean.
I was going to bring up one thing. The one thing I use you a lot as a poster child, Bobby, because we had the conversation. From the beginning of PitchIT to the end of PitchIT, you said, I mean, you guys were very good in general. It's not as if PitchIT can take credit or anyone can take credit for you guys doing a good job. You guys were already good, but you always talk about how your pitch adjusted, and you didn't do 180, but almost a 180 in some ways, because you reprioritized based off what you had learned, which is a big deal, because how many people get caught up in, they keep saying the same thing over and over again, even if it's wrong, if it's not as effective or impactful, and so like I use you as an example often about that, because we did talk about that over and over again.
Yeah, we lost all of our head-to-head, like 30-second, 1-minute competitions that we did throughout PitchIT. I think what Sean's trying to say is we were pretty bad, and we got to not bad by the end, which was awesome.
No, I said you were good. I started off with you guys were good. You just got better. You just refined it. You refine. It's more. I think it comes down to you have to reprioritize and refine your message to make sense to everybody.
It's got to be clear and concise, and it's tough when most products and people are building product way faster now than we were 3 years ago. It's hard to say things concisely that are complicated, robust products.
Yep.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I agree.
Awesome. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Zach back on. Yeah, get ready, Zach.
I'm gonna get the big check. I know Bobby still has his. We can both hold him up.
Ours is in our office. If I had turned the other way, you would have seen our PitchIT check.
Mine's behind the green screen.
So Bobby coached Zach. And Zach, who did you coach?
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot with his name? Oh God. Oh no.
The guy we just interviewed last week, Adam.
Oh,
I know. I was just like, it's the winning thread. This is like thoroughbred here.
It was Alex Marco.
Alex Marco.
Yep.
Markov. It's OV, not Marco. He's not Marco Polo. That's great. Thanks,
so
Zach.
the winning, I'm just want to bring up because I knew that I was just setting you up because winning you guys are thoroughbreds. You guys
my coach was Cam from Alert Ops who won 4 years ago.
Yep.
Ooh.
And then Cam's was James West, which won before that. So
literally, whoever Alex coaches this year is who's going to win PitchIT.
That's
Alex has some weight.
Statement.
It is pretty good. So let's dig into a little bit of like initially what kind of made you guys want to even apply to PitchIT, just to where was your company at and so forth at that particular time. Zach, let's go ahead and start off with you.
Yeah, I would say 2 years ago is when we really first went into the market. We, as a company, probably just started getting our first MSP partners, started making our first bit of revenue, and really it was all just starting out for us. If I remember right, I think we got our first round of funding actually like in parallel with PitchIT timing. So we were just at that ramp up point to really start going all in, which was very exciting. And what made us want to apply? Well, for one, I was unfortunately did not actually hear about it till I ran into Sean. I think at ChannelCon or CompTIA CCF.
CCF.
So getting to network with him and meeting many of the people in that room, and all of them just vouching that PitchIT's kind of where you get to get exposure and learn if you have a good fit in the market. And as any entrepreneur will tell you, understanding if you have a good fit or a bad fit early on is immense value. So in either scenario, PitchIT could have gone. It was definitely the right place for Senteon to toss its hat in the ring.
Yeah, nice. Bobby, what about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really like a startup accelerator for the industry. And I've been saying this. I still think PitchIT is not the right term for it because like most of the value is through the classes that happen for like the 4 months before the actual pitches. Mm-hmm. And like some of those classes help you pitch. But a lot of them, that's not the focus of them. It's like, how do you build a business? How do you think about engineering? How do you think about customer acquisition cost and lifetime value and go to market and LinkedIn marketing? Like I didn't know that we were going to get all of that out of PitchIT. I joined, like the question is, why did we join? It's because it's ConnectWise's deal. And like, we love ConnectWise and work closely and want to be in the industry. But I should have joined for the classes because that's what I got the most value out of.
That makes sense. And yes, well, first off, PitchIT is trademarked, so it's going to be the name. It's trademarked.
Yeah.
It's a good name. It's a good name. It should be like PitchIT plus Startup Accelerator.
Well, you figure before 5 years ago, we didn't offer the accelerator, the incubator. We didn't do that yet. Yeah. So it was literally just pitching. Which you're not wrong. I feel like PitchIT just at least gives it some sort of goal in the end, regardless of how you do. But also, you yourself have always been a huge proponent, and like you constantly told everybody how it was the entirety that helped you. You actually leveraged it best, probably better than almost every other company. So, I mean, the conversation you and I had one time was, you said getting to do the podcast and the live streams helped you generate leads that you never were going to get.
Yeah, I mean, that's just so much work to do that stuff. And most companies in PitchIT don't have the bandwidth to make that stuff happen. It's awesome. I'm so excited for all the new startups to get announced in PitchIT. And like a little advice to them, like go to the courses, like take the time. It's so hard to choose to spend time on your business instead of in the business. And it's a lot of time, right? It's a couple hours a week for a lot of people. But And you can get through PitchIT without attending. Like Sean's not going to kick you out if you miss like 20% of them. I'm sure you will at some point. I don't know what that number is. But
yeah. Let's be very clear. I will kick you out after a certain point. Yes.
Yeah.
But the reality is,
yes, regardless.
But he won't kick you out if you constantly give him cigars, and that'll be all right.
That's right.
So let's dig into this. Let's dig into this a little bit. Zach, what's inside the PitchIT 16 weeks accelerator program, the workshops and so forth. What was the biggest single shift in how you positioned your product for MSPs?
Posting a lot more and really getting involved with the community. I mean, Bobby touched on it. LinkedIn, which going into PitchIT, LinkedIn is where I kind of started at. That's where we did our market research, where we first got in touch with everybody. But really, the emphasis on truly posting and engaging in comments and strategies around how to get this to actually work in a scalable way, right? That was really impactful for me. But the biggest thing outside of that for training is really the public speaking. I hinted at this at the start. I don't have a major speaking background. It's nothing I was accustomed to before. And then PitchIT literally puts you through the ringer, if you will. I think there's probably 6 opportunities to speak virtually. And then obviously if you're selected to go live, you have that opportunity. And, prior to going on that stage, I think the largest room I ever spoke to was the 39-second quick pitch at MSP Geek. Maybe I think that was maybe the one time I public spoke before going in front of 500, 600 people. So getting those opportunities and getting them out of the way early in your entrepreneurship career is pretty special. Good, safe environment.
Nice.
It's a safe space.
Safe space.
We're all about safe space, man. I live in California, man. It's all about safe space.
Yeah, you have to have your emotional support animal within your bubble.
Well, that's why I got this guy. You got that pretty spot on, dude.
No, I know.
Is that a costume? What is around your neck?
It's a cat holder. He crawls around and whatnot. It's
fun.
So you'll hear on a lot of my webinars, my DOS machine is actually my cat, and the only way to stop this guy from stepping on my keyboard, hitting keys, messing up my screen was to get a cat holder, and now he just sleeps during my sales calls.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
He's not, but during live streams, he usually gets excited, so he doesn't sleep. But sales calls make him tired because he hears them all day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you get all wound up on your live streams.
I have fun.
Nice. So, Bobby, this question is for you. So, I don't recall you went from ChatGenie to Thread. Was that before PitchIT or during PitchIT? Right before PitchIT?
Yeah,
3 years ago.
It was when we were in PitchIT. I think that IT Nation, where we
okay
launched,
year one.
We did PitchIT was when we rebranded to Thread. So we were in the process of rebranding while we were in PitchIT.
Wow, that's because I was thinking what's the biggest?
Before? I think it may have been a year before.
So no, ready? Because this is a not known story, but I started telling it recently because I forgot about it. Thread applied too late for PitchIT the year prior.
Oh,
and they still tried to get in. And I was like, sorry guys, the rules are the rules. And they were ChatGenie then. The next year they were Thread. They were transitioning over that year. Yes.
That's right.
Oh, I know.
So we had been Thread for a year before we did this round of PitchIT.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like literally at the end,
we were ChatGenie.
Because I was just kind of thinking what your biggest shift was during the PitchIT. I thought that it was happens to be in a year or something when you were doing PitchIT. So I'm just curious what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, our biggest shift was AI. We dressed up as pilots. Everyone's like, "What Thread? You guys wear costumes? Are you pirates? Are you pilots? Are you magic genies?" We like to wear costumes. It's a good time. We were pilots because we came out with Copilot before ConnectWise. Fun fact. Or sorry, before Microsoft. Fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so we launched. On pitches. Pilot costumes. And so throughout PitchIT, we're figuring out how do we launch our new AI product. We were not an AI company before. And that was the whole thing. So going through PitchIT and figuring out how to launch a new product, how to rebrand the company. I don't know what we would have done if we weren't in PitchIT.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'm just curious, from Zach, your perspective, kind of what was the post winning the prize? What was the 30, 60, 90 days after that, kind of the effect?
Hold on. The most ridiculous post-winning person was Zach ever in the history of. Literally, Zach became the Stanley Cup winner with a check instead. So, which I love, by the way. But literally, how you see when whoever wins Stanley Cup, you see him taking the cup around the whole entire world. Well, that was Zach with the check. It was everywhere and everything.
Yep. That's 100% accurate. As soon as you get that, 6 foot wide check, you got to take it around. You got to show the people. You got to let them kiss the baby, if you will, right? So, but yeah, that was an absolute blast. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know what the question was after that, but I will say costumes is the move. We also went with the hardening crew with construction outfits. So, building the foundation of Windows, it played, man. I wasn't releasing a new logo or new brand or company name, but costumes play.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. And we've seen that across the board. The question was, what is 30, 60, 90 days, after the competition? And what was that like, right? Onboarding, I imagine, and lead generation. I'm just curious what that felt like.
So the first 30 days, I really tried to leverage the training that we went through in those 16 weeks. And it was trying to get marketing as much as possible and live streams just with the check in the background. I think probably for like 6 months or more, I literally had the big check just propped up in the back of my rig so that it was in every sales call. And that was a blast. I even did like a little marketing campaign with a 7-foot teddy bear where I had the teddy bear spending the check money and trying to cash it at a bank and whatnot, and the check coming out the carousel at the airport. So I just did a bunch of gags and whatnot with the checks. The first 30 days was a lot of that, but 60, 90 days, obviously we had the exposure. We kept on having more presentations, more demos, starting to get into the environment, learning more and more now that we have past the sniff test, you earned an accolade, you sponsored a big show. Getting to post in those communities more over those 60 days and onward forever. People kind of, I don't know, listened more or maybe didn't just scroll as fast past, right? They were like, okay, that's Senteon again. So it kind of just set the stage to do all of that. And then 90 days out is where, okay, now that we have our customer base, it's like for us, right? That was the early stage. Now it's like, all right, we got to set up a lot more processes around customer success and scaling and whatnot. So, and it was right in line with our fundraising. So we were also hiring. So those 90 days, Adam, great question. Big blur. That was a high growth point. And as Bobby and I were messaging earlier today, the blur doesn't really stop. I feel like we're always in growth phase at the position we are.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, Keith. Those are some comments. I can't even say them on air. So Bobby, let's talk about you in the first, 90 days after winning the prize. So,
yeah, we launched a new product, but I think the awareness that PitchIT creates, whether you win or not, it's a busy December and it's a busy rest of November talking to a lot of MSPs about what you're doing, which is huge. Like, go to market is super expensive for any company, like MSPs, for vendors. It costs thousands of dollars to get a new customer typically. And so if PitchIT can help early stage companies, which it does, not spend thousands of dollars per new customer, but allow you to get a bunch of conversations and, hopefully you have a good product that people are interested in, and you get new partners that you get to work with, like that takes you from probably somewhere like this to somewhere like that. And so, for us, like November, December, January, February, like it changed the trajectory that we were on as a company. So then there's a lot of downstream stuff from that. Like we have raised a few rounds of funding since PitchIT. I would say directly after PitchIT, we were able to raise a round of funding pretty quickly because of that growth and because of the awareness that it created for us.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm glad you weren't acquired by a competitor directly to ConnectWise, like previous winners.
Oof. Called out on a live stream. Jeez.
Wow. Well, that's pretty awesome seeing your growth and all that stuff. And so PitchIT has a massive effect. But I'm curious of Zach, what was like the surprise? What was the biggest surprise of going through PitchIT and post PitchIT? What's the biggest surprise you've had so far?
Well, the biggest surprise was really just seeing the ability that, I don't know how it'll sound, but really it was just kind of realizing for myself that I can go up on stage and kind of talk the presentation that was needed, get the crowd behind us, and, ultimately sell the vision and the brand that we were building. Right. So that was the biggest thing for me. And it's more of a personal thing than it was for Senteon.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah,
Bobby?
Well,
You did. Both of you guys did.
I was going to say, I think the one standout for this, even in general, people should acknowledge the fact is, and I'll even say this about Zach, his presentation was messed up. He had animation in it that didn't come up even, and he still made it work, because what people don't realize is presentation, you have to prepare for a presentation. You have to prepare in many ways to get on stage. It's not just you get up there and just start talking. I think and this is the same as a sales presentation too. People seem to think that I remember reading a post one day where some MSP was like, I'm going to go to do my biggest presentation, blah, 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 ever in the history of our company. I could use some advice. And somebody said, and they're like, you have a deck ready? Should I ask? And the guy goes, just speak from the heart. I'm like, no. Speak from the heart. What is this, a Hallmark movie? No. Have a presentation deck. People want to see you have to have your shit together, guys. You have to be able to present. People absorb visually and through listening. It's both. It's not just one, and for you to not have that is foolish. Plus it keeps you on track. It keeps you in check the whole time. Like, it's important. You should prepare. But that person said that. Yep. And I responded to that post. I was like, from the heart? I was like, does that heart come with a deck? Is there a presentation? And they were like, no, you know what you're doing. You know the job. You can speak backwards to it. I'm like, yes, you can speak backwards, but that person doesn't know what you're talking about. Presentations are important because it makes you be refined. You talk about the important things.
Yeah, and I think an important part of that refining process is you shouldn't just be talking about your product and like feature dumping on people. That's probably, from working with companies in PitchIT, like the biggest transformation that happens in the actual presentation is like, here's all the 17 cool things my product does, and here's how it's technically built, to go from, and Zach and I have worked on this a ton, like, what is the pain? Like, someone has a problem today. You need to get them to resonate with that problem so that your solution will help them. And then they need to understand the outcomes of your solution. Like, what your product actually does is not the majority of your presentation. And maybe it should be like 20% or less of your presentation. It's more about like the pain, a little bit of the how, but then the why and the outcomes. And, there's some heart in there. Like, if you are not passionate when you're doing that stuff and you don't show any heart, it's bad. But I don't think it's from the heart. I agree, Sean. You got it.
I'm not saying you don't love your product and it's not your baby, but it's like you can't. It's like, dude, give this one for the Gipper. That's not what's happening there, Like, I get it, but you should be prepared. You should absolutely be prepared in all ways, shape, and form. Think about the difference. And I remember when I talked to Zach originally, he, first conversation we had was at MSP GeekCon, and he's like, I got a deck. I don't know if it's going to do anything. And I'm like,
yeah. I mean, Zach and I were just talking about this too. Like, when you graduate from PitchIT and you start to get some traction, you start to scale the company. Like, now it's not just the founders anymore who have to have conviction and sell and talk about the pain. Like, I spend more of my time helping our team work on our slide deck that we do in our presentations and how to talk about our product without just feature dumping. Like, more than anything, I'm training dozens of people to do that, and like being able to scale it. Like, man, you have to be so refined to make it repeatable. And for us, that started in PitchIT.
Yeah. You don't really think about it either, but very much same here. As we're scaling, it's more just teaching them how to stay present in the moment and actually hear what they're saying and not just try to get to your next point or getting the next meeting on the calendar. Because what's the good of a meeting on the calendar if you really don't know what's going on in their business, and if you actually have something that fits? And, I think Bobby obviously recognized that. PitchIT kind of kicked it off for him. I don't think I really put it together, but yeah, it very much did. We did a lot of refining and whatnot, and it kind of was probably the catalyst to kick off the business outcome mindset and to make sure we always focus on that a lot more.
Awesome.
I like that. I think the one thing to take away from that, though, is, and people should understand, the PitchIT presentation's 5 minutes, and it is an overview, right? It's not a sales pitch. It is a sales pitch, but it's not what you would do in a sales presentation, right? And and you guys have experiences because you're trying to scale it. In order for your people to pay attention to the conversation, they have to know what that presentation deck looks like inside and out, right? And know where. And usually, when you have the conversation, you do your discovery, right? Whereas in PitchIT, you're up there just speaking generally. There's no questions being asked of you, or you're not asking questions. You're not, there's nothing happening. It's literally just you present. And that's a great, the main lesson you learn is structure your presentation first off to cover the key points. Same thing as in a sales presentation, but the key points are typically takeaways from the discovery, right? But the deck should remain the same always. You should only tweak it a little bit in your sales presentation as you go once you learn what's not effective. Don't be one of those owners that overhaul everything every 2 weeks because you think there's something, you got a good idea from your other friend that said they tried this and it happened and it worked once, So, and again, you guys did a great job on stage. You guys were I think the important piece too is that people should understand when you guys spoke on stage, you were very clean. You were very concise. And that's a big part of this. Understanding that value prop and what the pain is that you solved and being able to explain it the right way in a very, very, very pronounced manner in a very short time is key.
Yeah. And you called it out earlier with me having the animation issues. Like without the repetition and the practicing and the prep before and, the sessions with Bobby and whatnot, it wouldn't have been as good as it was considering everything that could have went wrong definitely went wrong as soon as I went on stage.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't have a cat clawing on you while you were on stage.
Did you notice that? Like, I think that would have worked. I think, hey, now we get a proper no more Shaw of a cat carrier on me.
So I do have one last question for you both. I do love to keep this around 40 minutes. So, Bobby, what would you say to maybe the MSPs looking at this contest? What to look for, and then also just as a vendor that's potentially competing, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I think for MSPs, please engage with these vendors. One, for feedback, but it's so important that new technology is being brought in by new people into the space, right? We have competitors that were in PitchIT last year and are going to be in PitchIT this year, I'm sure. And that is awesome. We want more people building more cool stuff, but it's really hard to go from nothing to something. And so engaging with MSPs, getting feedback, buying their product or doing a trial, getting involved, getting your hands on it. Please do that with people that you find interesting in PitchIT. That is huge on the MSP side. For the vendors, yes, show up. It's easy to say, hey, there's a big check. I'm gonna do the minimum and then just go win the presentation. One, you're probably not going to win the presentation if you don't do the work and engage. But even if you win, that's not the real win. The win is the people you met along the way, right? The win is all of the courses and the help and growth and
co-opetition.
That's right.
Yeah. So Zach, what would you say to that, to the MSPs watching this and watching the PitchIT and then also the vendors, the contestants?
Yeah, I think my sentiment probably carries from what I've said in past years, and even on this episode, to be transparent. But when you don't have that MSP background coming into the space, and Bobby touched on it, you really do have new ideas and new ways of looking at things. But the biggest thing MSPs can do is really, do your vetting. Make sure you're never wasting time with a startup that just has a twinkle in their eye, but at the same time, make sure to identify the ones that really do have a niche and be willing to give them that input. And everyone's time, especially with AI now, there's a million new startup ideas that are spun up every single day. But, when you can identify someone and when they're applying through PitchIT, that's a pretty good sniff test. And they're reaching out and say, hey, can I get some more input on this? What do you think of this? A lot of times, at least in my case, when I would reach out for that, it was pre-product when we were doing research. So there was nothing to sell. It really was me just looking for input. So, if you do see a PitchIT contestant or you see a startup out there, giving them the time of day definitely makes a massive difference. Everything that we do today is because of the input we received, not only through PitchIT, but all the market research we did through LinkedIn messaging and just being out in the community. So definitely that to the MSPs, and then to the vendor side, of course, show up, but don't be afraid to look like an idiot. Very much. I find your own voice. Feel free to always try to stand out. I know usually when I come and do these, I think this one included, since I brought my cat, I always try to go somewhere unique and, do something odd just to kind of have that style to it. But don't be nervous to always try to put yourself out there and find where your comfort zone is and push yourself outside of it.
Yeah, awesome close. So Sean, there's one thing we haven't discussed on here at all, and I'm just curious of the reaction from Zach and Bobby. But we haven't kind of mentioned the prize money this year at all. You just give us a little light on.
I heard it's more.
Oh, it's tax free too.
Hold on. So we're not saying any of that publicly here. Anyway, so you ready for the prize breakdown? Now, granted, this also includes how you guys receive the credit for the booth for the following year, as you know, so that's included when I say this. So when I'm putting it all together, we just lumped it all in one so everybody knows exactly what's going on, what they get from being a finalist in the first place. Because this year, all three finalists will receive something regardless, aside from they already received the $15,000 for the credit for the booth sponsor, right? So third place with the $15,000, they'll also receive an additional $20,000.
Whoa!
But not in cash. This will be in IT Nation credits, since they're already getting credit. Because what we did was we broke it down. We removed some cash and put a lot of it in credit instead for sponsorship, because you guys are all coming back and sponsoring anyway. So it seems silly. It seems silly, right? So also back to the tax thing, whatever. Anyway, second place will receive $20,000 in cash and $35,000 in IT Nation sponsorship credit. And first place will receive $30,000 in cash and $75,000 in IT Nation sponsorship credit. So yeah, that's right. See their faces? I told you. Wow. But this way, and so we're clear that sponsorship credit must be used the following year after the finals or whatever. So we're not going to let it linger, because I'm not doing math in 3 years to figure out what you still have left. I'm like, I have $2 up in my account. No, you don't. It's all next year. We're done, right?
But you're right. Yeah. That is where everybody spends it anyway. So that's awesome.
Every one of you guys are on that growth. You're on that growth train now, right? And that's what you got to do. If you go and pitch it and you go right back into spending on development, you missed your opportunity, because you guys just built a critical mass over the last 6 months. You're at an event. You've generated leads. What do you do next? What would you wait for? It doesn't make sense. So you're right. Every year, all the money comes right back into sponsorship anyway to grow. So instead, we applied it. So now you're going to go into the next year. If you win first place, $75,000 in sponsorship credit right there.
That's awesome.
Nice. It's pretty awesome. Well, I just, Bobby, Zach, both you guys just proved the same thing that every PitchIT winner we have on here has shown. Really, growth doesn't come from just hoping, right? You actually have to take action. It comes from getting clear, getting coached, and executing with real discipline. You guys are doing it and continue to do it. And I just love seeing that from this class. So, I just want to appreciate you guys for jumping on here. Past winners, past coaches, and any closing comments that might hit home that we haven't mentioned on here. Zach, let's start off with you.
Don't be afraid to try to win over the audience. Make sure you find something relatable that people are going to talk about after. I think obviously the costumes. I definitely leaned into costumes and a slogan, and last year's winner may have incorporated some family elements. So don't be afraid to play the human card when you go about doing this, and listen to your coach, especially if you get one of the people in line. The trilogy.
It's not a trilogy. It's a dynasty. It's a
dynasty.
We're 5 in.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of pressure for Alex, man. But very much don't talk about the platform as much as you think you need to. Really find that relatable nugget, whether it's about the platform, the business outcome, the way you can relate to the audience. It's a presentation, and that's people are voting.
Awesome. Bobby, take us home, and I'll close it out.
Start with the pain. Every single time I meet with someone to help them with their pitch, they don't have the pain clear enough and intense enough at the beginning. Like, your first slide should be about the pain that people experience today.
What problem you're solving.
Awesome. Well, since you're on this live stream and those are watching the live stream, drop a comment if this all hits home. Reach out if you guys want to talk operations and keep scaling with purpose and just enjoy it. We have a Facebook group, Central Mafia Facebook group. Definitely join that. Check out our webpage and so forth. And it's a great community. Collaborate, real action, real traction to help you guys with those pain points, really bring traction and really elevate your MSP. And if you're a vendor in there, elevate your the vendor. And hopefully, you know what, Sean, we get announcement here tomorrow, end of the week, or what?
No, this week I have in 17 minutes, I have my orientation call with this year's cohort.
Yeah.
Who was accepted in. So
nice.
All these guys went through the orientation call on this call. So yes.
And we appreciate that comment, Keith. Pain does build character. So appreciate it, guys. Well, thank you very much. Until next week, we'll see you on this live stream. Talk to you later.
Thanks all. Peace out. Thanks, guys.
Bye.